National Apple Turnover Day. Now, we just did apple strudel like 2 weeks ago, I know. So we had to kind of mix it up and come up with something a little bit different, which I think I did today. The thing that's cool about doing this show and cooking every day is you pick up techniques of how to do stuff, so you get to a point where some stuff you're able to just wing it because you know what works together, you know what flavors work together, you know how to do certain ingredients a certain way, and you don't even need a recipe. And then you start to get creative and you go, well, what if I did this? Well, what if I did that? And what if I tried this? And then you try it and you see. And that's what's cool about this too, that I get to share it with you so you can see if it works. And if it does work, everybody wins, and you can make it, and I made it, and it's great. If it sucks, then you know, don't make it. I made it, saved you the trouble, so you don't have to worry about it. So it's a cool trade-off between the two. I appreciate everybody watching, so that's my trade-off, that I show it to you, do or die. You know, win or fail, we show it. Alrighty, so today's kind of like that. There's nothing to really follow. There's no recipe. I got my oven preheating 350 for our turnovers. I'm going to heat up some butter in a pan because butter is your friend. And then I have some apples that are soaking that I diced up. I did like a nice small dice on this because we're using phyllo dough today instead of puff pastry like on the strudel show. It's a little lighter consistency, so when you're rolling it, I didn't want big chunks of apple in there. I figured that small dice would work better. So all I'm going to do is heat up some butter in a pan here. I got some brown sugar, maybe a tablespoon or two of brown sugar that I'm going to add to my butter. Once that's melted, we're going to get that melted down, and then we're going to strain our apple pieces here. Make sure you get them kind of, you know, strain all the water. I have them in lemon water just so they don't oxidize and brown. I'm going to strain that out, add that to that, and we're going to caramelize our apples, and that's going to be our filling. And then we just move on to the next thing. But there is a cool surprise we're going to try today with this, alrighty? So be right back as soon as my apples are ready to go in. And once your sugar and butter is kind of all melted down together, take your strained apples and put those right in there, okay? We're just going to cook these maybe about 5 minutes or so. You want to get them nice and tender because we're using phyllo dough. It doesn't take that long to bake turnovers before they're done. So you want to make sure that your filling is definitely, your apples are cooked and tender in your turnovers. So that's why we're kind of pre-cooking them beforehand, plus to give them a little flavor. We cooked them beforehand with the brown sugar. We're going to add a little bit of nutmeg and cloves, ground cloves. Okay, I'm not adding cinnamon right now because one of my ideas is going to be to, when I brush the phyllo dough before it goes in the oven, I'm going to sprinkle it with some cinnamon sugar, just so that's where it'll pick up that flavor and give us maybe a little bit of a sugary crust on the outside. Okay. And I didn't add as much sugar as you see, just the 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, because that's our secret today. We're going to make caramel apple turnovers. I don't know, I came up with this idea in the middle of the night or something. I went and got some nice caramel candies, the soft squishy kind, not hard candy, squishy caramels. And we're going to put one of those inside of our turnovers with our filling, you know, fold them, and bake them, and see when they come out, if when you open it up, there's this gooey, runny caramel apple filling. Won't it be kind of cool? I can't wait to see if this thing turns out the way it is. See, this is the fun of it. You know, sometimes come up with an idea and just try it. What's the worst that can happen? What did I pay, $2 for a bag of candy? Worst case scenario, I'll just eat the caramels if it doesn't work. Alrighty, so now here's our mixture cooking down. I am going to add a little bit of cornstarch because that'll thicken up the juices here and make it more of a firm filling, because I don't want, because I'm adding the caramels and I've never done that, I don't know how liquidy that's going to make the center, the filling, and I don't want it so liquidy that it's running out of our turnovers. I mean, the whole point is when you bite into it to have some filling in there. Okay, so maybe like half a tablespoon, maybe a teaspoon of cornstarch is all you really need, okay? Because this is, I can see it already, it's already thickened up by that tiny little bit that we added. Okay, so just cook this down till it's tender. We'll be back to unroll our phyllo dough and start rolling our turnovers, or folding our turnovers, or whatever they call it. Okay, so there's our filling all cooling down, which is what we want there, okay? We're going to take our phyllo dough, which is, like I said, extremely thin, and sometimes hard to find the edges. You want to make sure that you keep it covered while you're working with it so it stays kind of damp and doesn't dry out on you, because then it starts to get crumbly, okay? So you just kind of keep it like that. Okay, so you start with a sheet of your pastry. Make sure you keep it covered, your pastry, your phyllo dough. Okay, now what I'm going to do is fold this over in half, because we're going to do minis. I think we're going to do mini turnovers today, just so they're more bite-sized. So that way I have a half sheet, okay? Now the thing with phyllo dough too, make sure you have lots of melted butter on hand, because that helps keep your phyllo dough moist. And I think you need it to kind of golden it up a bit, something like that. Okay. So I'm going to do one sheet, and then I'm going to actually do a second sheet, just so that way it's nice and thick. Get lots of layers on there. I'm having a hard time with this phyllo dough today, because it's all kind of sticking together. That's alright. Persevere. Patience, everyone. Patience. Okay, same thing. Oh, this is actually 2 sheets. Okay, you know what? I'll fold this one in half and save this for the next one. Because I'll show you, I'll actually do 2 at the same time. I want to do a double sheet just so it's a little bit thicker of a crust here. Again, butter, butter, butter. It doesn't really matter if the sheets are a little broken, because like I said, you'll see when we fold this thing how it comes together. Okay? Remember, for those of you that back in the 80s in high school, you played that little table football game and you made those little paper football triangles? That's kind of what you're doing today. Okay? So what we're going to do, once you got your phyllo dough laid out in these thinner strips, you're going to take some of your filling here. Not a lot, maybe a tablespoon of your filling. You don't want to overfill. Okay? Maybe we can go a little bit more. Okay, and then take one of your caramels and put that right in there. Okay, now what you're going to do is take the corner and fold it so you're making a triangle and the sides meet there. Okay, like that. See how I did that? Okay, then you're going to take this point of the triangle. Now you have this straight angle on this side, flip it straight up. Okay, so that goes like that. Now you're going to take this triangle, flip it that way. See, you're just constantly keeping that triangle shape. Okay, and the cool thing about this is now when you flip it this way, you've now sealed it on all sides. So you're completely covered there. Alrighty? Then the last one you do there, and then now you have this little flap on the end, which you're just going to pull over like that, and have your baking sheet ready with some parchment paper. Okay, and put the seam side of that little flap down. Okay, so that way when it bakes it doesn't all open up and spill up. Okay, so that's what you do. That's what we're going to do. We'll make a bunch of these and we'll be right back to put them in the oven. I think we're going to brush them first with some either butter or egg wash or something. I'll figure it out on the way. Alrighty, be right back. So there they are on our tray. We buttered them after they were done folding and sprinkled them with some cinnamon sugar. Okay, we got 8. We used 2 Granny Smith apples and we got 8 turnovers, which is perfect. And I guess they're not so many. We'll see when they bake up how big they actually are. They're not full-size sheets. You could do that if you wanted to go real big. But these are going to be nice-sized turnovers. Alrighty, hopefully the caramel and everything works together. Going to put these in the oven. I'm guessing about maybe 10 to 12 minutes, maybe 15. Never did the turnovers like this with puff pastry, with phyllo dough. So I don't really know how long it's supposed to be. But we're going to keep an eye on it until it gets nice and golden brown and puffy, and then we're going to take it out. Alrighty? Be back. Okay, there they are out of the oven. I let them cool down a little bit. Really nice, crispy. I got to get a plate because this thing's going to crumble all over the place. Okay, so as you can see, it's really, really crispy on the top. I want to break this up here. I want to be able to, I love doing this. I know I should sit down at a table, but you know, I get so excited to want to try these things. I'm just going to break this open and see. It's very crumbly apart, but look inside. It's going to be hot. So let's see, it's all flaky. Wow. That caramel really sweetens this up perfectly. This is why you don't have to add a lot of sugar to this. I had a feeling that's what was going to happen. Plus we dusted it with that cinnamon sugar on the outside. So you get your sweetness. Sorry it all fell apart. I should have just ate it, but I wanted to break it open to get a look at the inside. Oh my God, these are really good. Really flaky and light. Oh, it's hot. I mean, you could do it either way. Use the puff pastry if you prefer puff pastry. That'll give you more of a puffy crust rather than this crispy one. But I kind of like this crispy one. Like I said, it just adds it. It just makes it really nice and light of a pastry rather than the heavier puff pastry. Okay? I'm gonna go eat my turnovers. Try some turnovers today. And you saw what we did, we winged it. This is the fun thing about this show. You learn how to do stuff, and then you just incorporate it and get an idea and throw it together and say, hey, let's give that a shot, whatever. This totally works. Really cool idea. I may try this again with the puff pastry just to see if it makes that much of a difference. Alrighty? See you tomorrow, everybody. Have a great day.